So let's talk about the 3 steps to recurring, running effective opportunity meetings. I'm going to give you kind of my overview here on how to do it the most efficiently. So the first one here is to advertise. So this, if you think about this, is that you have to get the word out about what it is that you're doing, and what the opportunity is, kind of the appealing highlights of it. And we'll talk briefly about how to do it. We talked a little bit last week in the advertising to recruit agents module, so we'll cover that more in depth. Excuse me. I believe later on we'll do, but it's a very simple system. It's what we call a 2-step marketing system. You put the ad out there, you create the lead, and then at this point, the next thing you do is you and we'll talk about this in a minute, you cultivate them, set them up for an appointment to your opportunity meeting, and then do some follow-up work. And you get butts into seats, meaning you get them into the opportunity meeting setting in order to go over what it is that you do. And then let that be the sales pitch, essentially. So we'll also talk about finding a location, follow-up tactics. Again, for you have somebody who expresses interest in your job opportunity. What do you do then? How do you book them in? How do you make sure they actually come in? And then where do you actually run these things? We'll cover that in a moment. And then we're going to go in detail into the actual opportunity meeting presentation so you can learn more there. So let's first talk about advertising. So the best practice I think to use is to use paid ads on Craigslist and ZipRecruiter to promote the opportunity meeting. This is, again, covered in the last video. Right now, these are the lowest cost, highest yield as far as eyeballs go. You're going to have a lot of people who are unfamiliar with life insurance. That's fine. I think if you're going to do this model of an opportunity meeting, you're going to have to embrace that most of your agents are going to be brand new. They may not even be licensed. So they may have a process before getting to the point of being licensed and ready to sell, but that's good for you. In many ways, as I talked about last week or the week before, recruiting brand new agents is wonderful. You don't have agents with biases or bad habits. These people hopefully are fresh. They have no preconceived notions of what should or shouldn't happen in an insurance business. So you have a lot more room to mold them the way you want to. So, and you shouldn't be scared of that. That's actually a good thing, as long as you do it the right way. We don't want to mold them into, hey, 55% contract's the best thing you're ever going to get and pay $40 leads. At least that's how I think. So, but for me, I'm in the position to be able to cultivate good habits. And yes, you got to work with a lot of new guys to do it, but it's something you have to embrace with an opportunity meeting more often than not. You can drive people in who have experience in opportunity meetings, but it's a little bit of a different deal. Okay, so yeah, just use these approaches. Refer last week to our training on advertising on Craigslist and ZipRecruiter. And again, the idea here is to use an ad that describes what it is that your agency's about, how it works, what the benefits are, who you're looking for, and then have them call a number or fill out a form online to submit their information. And then at that point, you basically book them into the next opportunity meeting. You set up reminders, as we'll go into in a moment, but you get them to show up. That's really the close. That's the next step in the sales cycle. You get them to show up into the actual seminar. So again, maybe you guys are wondering, well, okay, I like the idea of an opportunity meeting, but where do you actually hold one of these things? Like, how do you actually do them so that you're in a position to, actually conduct them? What if you don't have an office? What if you're worried about the expense, the rent, and you're not necessarily ready to buy or rent an office? That's fine. So let me kind of give you some ideas. So this day and age in the rental world, there is a lot of opportunities to get space without having to have a long-term commitment. And I would definitely recommend this in the beginning. I don't think that you have to have an office, especially when you get started to run an insurance agency, even locally. You can operate out of a meeting space that you rent from time to time. You can meet at a Starbucks or a coffee house. You can meet in places like this as a startup. That's fine. Offices are great, but they're not necessarily a requirement. Especially this is if you're strapped for money and you don't have any kind of meeting space. And if you're wanting to do this and you don't want to commit, but you want to do these opportunity meetings, there's a lot of places you can go to that will allow you to rent conference rooms. The old classical way, of course, is to call up hotels, see what it would cost to run, an hour or two in one of their conference rooms where you can do these things. Again, there's a lot of hotels. A lot of them will work with you and negotiate. A lot of these hotels have activity directors to do this stuff anyway. It's business for them in many cases, so they can work with you on that. You also, in many cities, small, medium, and large, you're going to have essentially business. How do you call these things? I used to have one in my personal training business. It's like a government-funded office space that basically supports startup entrepreneurship, and you can call and request to book a seminar room and do it just on a one-time basis. And they've got a schedule. They'll be happy to work with you. And what you'll find is you're able to book in a centralized location and not necessarily pay an arm and a leg to do it. In some markets, you'll find complete floors dedicated to, again, office co-oping is what it's called. And it's essentially just renting by the day conference rooms, office spaces, and that kind of thing, or in professional big buildings. So, and you'll find there's tons of this kind of opportunity. So I don't want you guys to get discouraged thinking, oh, I like this idea, but I can't do it. I don't want to hold this thing outside in a park or somewhere. It looks kind of cheesy. You can get a professional looking place if you just put a little time and effort into it. And many times you'll find you can rent a small office for cheap too, especially in some of these startup entrepreneurship supported areas and sites. I remember getting, office space. I mean, I could rent my 20 by 20 room was like $400 a month. That's not too bad. And you could have a full-fledged conversation and conference in there as well as your own office space. You don't have to go, and I wouldn't recommend it either, to go all out and have long-term leases, pay a lot of money. I mean, office space can suck the life out of your funds in order to build a business. And anyways, you're not going to be in the office all that much, and it doesn't matter if what you're providing ultimately is value for your agents. So yeah, those are some examples I gave you. And it's important to follow up again with when you get interested agent prospects in, it's important to follow up with them, to book them into an appointment, and then also send reminder text messages, emails, and calendar links to remind them of the seminar. A lot of times you can book somebody in to come into your seminar, and if things happen in life, they'll forget. So you want to make sure that you notify them multiple times, several days out, day of, in the morning, and then an hour before, that this is going on. Make sure you're there, so on and so forth. And you want to do it with a series of text messages, emails, and that kind of thing. Thanks for watching my video on building your own insurance agency. And before you go, I want to stress, if you are interested in building an agency, you have got to find the right setup to give you the opportunity to build the agency in your brand, to make it your own, and to maximize the opportunity out of your hard work. What I've discovered as an agency owner since 2013 is that many of the agents out there who aspire to build an agency, doesn't matter what product it is, partner with the wrong companies. They partner with companies that steal their downlines, that terminate them to eliminate them from their downlines, and ultimately build the brand of the company or the agency and not their own brand. What I teach agents is how to brand their own agency in their name, to give them the opportunity to maximize their commissions, whatever kind of products they're selling, and to ultimately create a real business that actually gets results. I'm sick and tired of all these corporations out here who are involved in the insurance business screw so many good-hearted agents over with quote-unquote agency opportunities. So this whole rant is just for me to explain to you that now I have a program. If you are interested in doing some sort of agency building, but you want to make sure you join the right agency, you want to make sure you get the training from A to Z, from recruiting, from training, from coaching agents to building and scaling and having lead generation. You think that's important to know and you know you need it, my program is for you. So if you want to learn more about how I help agents become successful and independent agency owners, here's what you need to do. Go to davidduford.com, click Join Dave's Agency, and you'll see a little link in the bottom that says something about check out my agency program. And there you'll find all sorts of information that will describe how it works and give you an idea of the details and to determine if it's right for you. So check that out if this is something you're serious about doing. And you guys have a good day, and thanks for watching. See ya.